Today, I am at Rolls-Royce Paramus checking out their 2025 Rolls-Royce Cullinan Black Badge. This is an absolute luxury beast, and the staff was kind enough to let me check it out. After we go over this car, we're going to go over to Bentley Paramus, which is conveniently located right over there, to look at their Bentley Bentayga and compare some key things between these luxury vehicles. So starting off, this vehicle is going to have a base price of $470,000. This one here is well built and optioned out to $583,300. Let's check out what we've got on it. This paint color here is going to be Arctic White, a $13,100 paint option. This looks like an absolute candy coat. It is so smooth and nice and looks different under different lighting. They have a couple red lights above, and you could see how the purple reddish reflects off this white hood. What a beautiful, beautiful paint color. Very expensive. The wheels on this are going to be 23-inch black badge wheels at $10,675. Whoa. And then we're also going to have hiding back there brake calipers painted in mandarin. Those are going to be an extra $4,550 for the color option. We've also got the nice floating center caps, so those will always stay upright no matter how the wheels are spinning. Moving around, we're also going to have the black chrome horizon line. That's going to black out all the chrome, as well as with the black badge package that this car has. Going to give you all black accents. That's going to be an extra $975. And with that, you're also going to get the black Spirit of Ecstasy. That's going to be this little angel on the front of the hood, standard on all Rolls-Royce models. I believe now standard as well, this Spirit of Ecstasy will actually retract if you try and take it. So if I try and reach out and grab it off the hood, it should retract, but I am not going to test that because it will be very expensive to replace. Cool little hood ornament, signature of Rolls-Royce. That's really it for exterior options. I'll finish my walk around of the car. We got some nice dark black privacy glass in the back. These wheels are absolutely huge. This car has such a stance to it. It's a very, very large vehicle. This one here is on a battery tender waiting for a new owner. I really like the black accents, the black badging. All right, but the magic here on this car is going to be happening on the inside. So the first thing we're going to see when I open that door is going to be the bespoke interior in mandarin with black contrast. That's going to be $9,800. Let's check out what a nearly $10,000 interior looks like. So first, this car has power doors. So you actually have to hold the handle, and then the door will open up just like that. I'm only using my finger and it opens up. A little weird to get used to because you have to hold the door handle to make sure the door opens. I'm assuming they did that because of how heavy these doors are. This interior is finished in mandarin with a black contrast. Let's check it out. These doors are so nice, fully trimmed in leather. There's leather everywhere. And then we even have the veneer trimmed here. I will get to that in a moment. And then there's your seat settings right underneath the door panel. Look at that. These window switches are in chrome. Everything in here is so shiny. And then you're greeted by a nice shiny Cullinan tread plate. Look at that. Now here's the main event. This interior finished in mandarin with black contrast. $9,800 again. So that veneer that I mentioned is going to be the extended high gloss crossline veneer. That's going to be $2,900 for the package. You could see there the crossline in the veneer. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Staff is nice enough to let me actually sit in the vehicle and fully check it out. Something I don't get to experience at many of the showrooms I go to. Huge thanks to them. Inside, we're also going to have the dynamic bespoke clock at $4,725. That's going to be put right in there. So you're paying almost $5,000 just for that clock there. Beautiful. This interior is so supple. Another option you're going to have is the Rolls-Royce embossed on these headrests, with the black piping in the seats as well. So for the embossing, that's going to be $1,700, and then the black piping is going to be $4,800. And then of course, a staple of Rolls-Royce is going to be that shooting star headliner. This is the only car that should have a shooting star headliner, and it's going to cost you at $8,550 for their signature option. That is absolutely beautiful. We also got more fun on the rear seats. Let's go over the rear seats. So same thing, you got to hold this and then it opens up. I can only use one finger if I want to. Nice and slowly, nice and dramatic. I love the suicide doors on these, how that opens up. Beautiful. And then of course, another signature of Rolls-Royce is you're gonna have the umbrella in the door. You'll push this button here to unlock it. It should pop out. Look at that. I believe this is an included option because it was not on my build sheet. Locks in just like that. Beautiful. That mandarin orange continues to the back with the crossline veneer. You'll have some controls for the seats down here for reclining, as well as a USB-C charging. Again, that chrome trim, Everything in here is high quality. The back seat is fully trimmed in leather. You even have a little leather armrest there. But really the cool thing back here is gonna be the theater specification at $9,250, as well as the picnic tables at $5,850. Let's check that out. So built into these rear seats, you'll see it looks kind of, I guess, like normal, except for the fact that it's fully trimmed in leather. There's a little button right here. When you hit this, your picnic tables will fold down, fully veneered in the cross line, and then you'll have a TV screen hiding back there. This is both on the back of the driver and the back of the passenger. It is an absolute occasion to be in the back of this car. Then the push of the button will fold those back up nicely. Look at that. Everything in here is so soft and so supple. And then you have, of course, a full set of climate controls back here. I mean, just the feeling of this leather, the sound that makes. It is so supple and such high quality material in here. And then of course, we're gonna have the lamb's wool floor mats. You could actually see how thick these mats are. If I lift them up a little bit, these are crazy. Those are gonna be an extra $1,800 for lamb's wool floor mats throughout the car. And of course, the last thing we cannot forget, we are gonna have the bespoke Bentley audio system at $11,425. Look at that. You have Bentley bespoke speakers in here. I'm sure it sounds awesome. That's all the options that we've got on the car. Very well spec'd. To close these doors up, there's a little button here on the outside. You're just gonna hit this little button. If you can see it right there, a little indentation, you just hit it. Door closes automatically. So cool. Do the same for this one. Really cool feature to have on your luxury car. All right, so it's not just all luxury. Let's go over some performance and power numbers that this thing's gonna have. So it's gonna have a 6.5 liter twin turbo V12 engine making 563 horsepower. That is packing some serious power. It's also gonna have an 8-speed automatic gearbox with all-wheel drive, all-wheel steering, and independent air suspension. I am sure this thing drives like a cloud. Probably so comfortable to get chauffeured around in that back seat with your TVs on. This car will actually do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, putting most average cars on the road to shame. It's not sports car fast, but that is very fast to execute passes in traffic and faster than most normal cars on the road. And of course, it's going to be sitting on Pirelli P0 tires, 255 in the front, 295 in the rear. I will say we are going to go check out that Bentley, but it is going to be hard to top this. This thing is appointed and built to the max. All right, now we are moving over to the 2024 Bentley Bentayga V8. This car is going to have a base price of $203,200, but this one here is built out to $260,875, almost half the price of the Rolls-Royce that we just checked out. So let's see what it's got. This color here is called Jetstream, a really nice light blue that looks different under the light depending on the colors above. That's going to be $8,025 for the paint option, a little cheaper than Rolls-Royce on that. This is also going to have the dark line specification that's going to black out the grille, black out your trims, black out your window surrounds, black out your headlight surrounds. That's going to be $6,175. I really like the headlights on this better than the Rolls-Royce. They're like a chandelier. I believe they actually have Swarovski crystals inside these headlights. Gorgeous. We're also gonna have the 22-inch 5-spoke wheels in black. I like these wheels a little bit better than the ones on the Cullinan, and they're gonna cost you $5,995. Also including the black line, we're gonna get black brake calipers to match. This is not gonna have any floating center caps. You can see there the B is upside down. That's a Rolls-Royce signature item. On this one, we're also gonna have the touring specification. That's gonna include adaptive driver controls such as cruise control, night vision, and the head-up display at $7,890. Good feature to have to daily drive this. All right, but now let's get to the inside. This is where you'll see the biggest differences. This does have air suspension. You can hear the car just drop down, but it is not independent air suspension like the Rolls-Royce. So inside here, we're gonna have the interior color split Imperial Blue at $4,205. Very, very gorgeous interior. We're also gonna have the front seat comfort specification at $4,195, as well as contrast stitching and piping for $3,905 for that light blue stitching, as well as the light blue on the steering wheel stitched around. Those Bentley logos are gonna cost you $940 to have embroidered on the seats, and then the single finish extended piano black veneer is gonna cost you $3,150. Personally, I am not a fan of the piano black. I like the veneer on the Rolls-Royce much, much better. This interior is very nice and sporty. However, it looks a little bit more like a normal car in here. These seats are something you might see out of a normal car, but they are trimmed in really, really nice soft leather. but they are just not as upscale as that Rolls-Royce. The infotainment does not look as upscale either. You do have a nice clock up there, but it is not bespoke individual like the one on the Rolls-Royce. These dials do make it look a little dated in here as compared to the Rolls-Royce. The Rolls-Royce is going to have more of a timeless interior. I do love this steering wheel, however, over the Rolls-Royce. The heated steering wheel is going to cost you $290, small option to pay to get a heated steering wheel. In comparison to the lambswool mats in the Rolls-Royce, you're going to have what's called deep pile over mats in here. Those are going to be $660. You can see they have a nice trim around them, but they are not as thick. You have a nice tread plate here, but not illuminated like the one on the Cullinan. So you can see those little nuances is kind of where I guess $200,000 goes, 250 give or take, between the price of these two vehicles. Let's check out the back seats. You do not have power doors on here. The door panels are beautiful with that extended veneer. And the sound system we cannot forget is going to be the Bentley Signature Audio. It is a standard system included. There is an update available called NIAM for Bentley, and that system is supposed to be very nice. You do get nice under door puddle light projectors, but the back seat is rather, I guess, mundane compared to the Rolls-Royce that we just checked out. There are no TVs back here, no picnic tables, no footrests, unfortunately. You do have independent climate control back here, but not as nicely set up as it was for the Cullinan. You're also going to have rear privacy glass, a very nice touch on one of these. This car, you're really not going to get chauffeured around, and this is more of a driver's car. You got that comfort seat in the front, where the Rolls-Royce with that whole rear seat theater spec, that's the car you want to get chauffeured in. That's the celebrity car. So the back glass is more important on the Cullinan than it would be on here. Where I live, you cannot tint front windows, so you can't even tint these front ones if you're driving it. Let's get to some power numbers. This car, as I mentioned, is the Bentayga V8. So now, yes, I did just compare the Rolls-Royce that's a V12 to this. There is an optional W12 available for this car, but here at the dealership, they only got the V8, but it's actually packing a pretty serious punch. So it's gonna have a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 in the front with 542 horsepower. Gonna have an 8-speed automatic transmission with all-the-time all-wheel drive and air suspension, but not independent like the one on the Rolls-Royce. This car is going to do 0 to 60 in the same time as the Cullinan at 4.5 seconds, so it is still properly quick, even though it's down on power and down 4 cylinders. That's because this car is going to be much lighter. The W12 Bentley, I'm sure, is an absolute rocket and probably competes with sports car numbers. This car is sitting on Pirelli P0s all around. They're going to be 235 in the front, 285 in the rear, so a little bit smaller track tire when compared to the Cullinan. So overall, from this comparison, which one would I take? Overall, I think I would take the Bentayga. I think the Bentayga is meant to be driven by the owner. It's a very nice luxury car that you can drive yourself around in. I'm not one to ever want to be chauffeured. If you want to be chauffeured around, get the Cullinan. Beautiful car. The interior is next level in that car. The Bentley interior is by far more sporty. I prefer sportier cars. This car is going to sound sportier and drive sportier. The Rolls-Royce is going to be more luxurious. I guess this begs the question, is the Rolls-Royce worth the extra $250, if not more, for what you're getting? This can be optioned out to be a little better, a little bit more premium, but I still think this is an excellent, sporty, luxury SUV. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Stay tuned to see another car next week.